folks to Deep River Farm. This video you're getting ready to see is stuff that you folks that are supporting Operation Mountain Relief and these relief centers, you're getting ready to see where your money's going, what's being ordered, what's on the way. You're going to see, I guess you'd call it a visual sales receipt from Amazon. Some of the items you're going to see multiple times. That's because they've been ordered multiple times and going to different relief centers. You're going to see an interview with Bud that he sent me a video in. You're going to see a video from Brittany from the Refuge Baptist Church there in Dana, North Carolina at that relief center that's working with Kris Swiatocho Ministries. You're going to see a video clip of Kris Swiatocho as she's talking about what's coming in. You're going to see a video of the Appalachian Reclamation Koalition. They've got one on the way, supposed to arrive in time to make this dubbing. And we just appreciate all that you folks are doing. You're also going to see a video from Colton. The audio in that video was terrible. You could barely hear him speak, but you can see the inside of the relief center there at Relief, North Carolina, at his new relief center. So we just went ahead and dubbed some music over it, and because of the audio just didn't transfer, and he's got a terrible cell signal out there too, by the way. And anyway, that way you can at least see the relief center, the new location that he moved to since he has been gone from Red Hill Hardware area. And he's got his new place up and going, and you folks can see what his stock looks like. He is in need of a lot of stuff. He's serving 75 to 100 people a day when he's open, and they can't be open every day. They're usually open about 4 days a week, and this is because they're taking shipments, and it's just himself and his wife, and they've also had a newborn. I'm trying to think who else we're going to be seeing this evening in this video. And also to let you know, we had a video scheduled. If Appalachian Reclamation Koalition gets their video to us, we're going to swap out the know when to hold them, know when to fold them video and bump it back a day in order to get this video out, because you folks need to see where your purchases are going, because we always try to be transparent. Folks, the videos are coming along with a lot of pictures. Stay with us. Hope you have a blessed evening.
Good morning, friends. Brittany Rowland here from Dana, North Carolina. I wanted to hop on and send a little update about our blessing box we put up a couple of months ago. It has been a huge hit for our community. It is being used daily. We are restocking. We are so appreciative of donations that keep coming in to be able to help provide for our community. We are asking for non-perishable item foods, toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies, hygiene products, hair supplies, anything you can think of to put in a blessing box to be able to help families. My number one goal before the end of the year, we have a lot of parks here in Hendersonville, North Carolina. I am hoping to add more blessing boxes to these parks to be able to help our community, to help anyone who needs just a little extra support. So that is my goal before the end of 2025. So we thank you guys for continuing to help Western North Carolina, to continue to pray for Western North Carolina. We are a little over 9 months in, and we are still helping families in need. Kris and I are so appreciative of everyone who has donated.
Hey y'all, my name is Holly, and Wayne asked me to introduce myself to you all. I am known as the Amazon lady. And ironically, one just delivered to my neighbor. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for all of the efforts that they have made for Western North Carolina and the preservation of life of my Tar-Heeled neighbors. And I want to take this opportunity to show my face, because disaster is an opportunity for grifters. And my hope is to let everybody know without a shadow of a doubt that their efforts are going exactly to where they need to be. That Operation Mountain Relief is being good stewards of your donations. And from my perspective, there's hundreds of thousands of dollars of donations that have helped North Carolina since September 27th. So Wayne wants me to explain what I do, and I can't do it in a minute and a half. I mean, I'm just too long-winded. So I'm going to share with you what I do. Right now, I'm sitting here on my front porch, just a swinging, in my Cry for Help t-shirt, with a cell phone scotch taped to a straw. So please bear with me. I don't do fancy. But I will share my experience, and hopefully will inspire someone to use Amazon registries or whatever registries that you prefer to communicate with your donors of your charity. And thank you so much. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for all of the help that you've given us. Thank you for continuing to keep up with the updates. North Carolina is pretty rough right now. I've been up there and seen it firsthand. And I just want you to know, as Tar Heel born and raised, how grateful and appreciated you all are. I see your names. I see a lot of the names repeatedly, sometimes in the same week. And I just want to let you know how grateful I am. How grateful we are at Operation Mountain Relief and ARC Reclamation, Appalachian Reclamation Koalition. And I plan on putting out a series of videos explaining who I am, what I do, and some of the thought process of why I add the items that I do, and maybe inspire someone to use registries to help their charity. So I'm just swinging on my front porch with my Cry for Help t-shirt on. Hey Colton, hey Lizzie, and all those sweet children, your sweet family. Thank you so much. Hey y'all, Holly the Amazon lady, still swinging on the front porch. I thought I would put out a couple more videos before I dismantled my hillbilly GoPro and maybe get Wayne off my back for a couple days for these videos. Hey Wayne, just joking. Hey bud. How's that front porch of yours holding up? I'm gonna talk about the weather. That's a hot topic these days. The week prior to Helene, I don't know how many inches of rain we got, but it dropped for several days. It was like almost a week of that mess. I live in the Piedmont, right halfway across the state, and my backyard was well past my ankles in some of the low-lying areas. So I can only imagine how much rain dropped in the mountains, saturated the earth, and the rivers, the waterways were already above level. So here comes Helene. she decided to run ridges. While she's cruising across Florida and the lower southern states, that storm that was already here stopped. Stalled out at Kentucky, Virginia, East Tennessee, North Carolina, where all four of those states meet. Well, here comes Helene. Helene crashed right into that storm. And they combined and dropped 30 plus inches in some areas, creating rapids. Okay, we don't have rapids. Creating rapids that were Niagara Falls force and tore up everything in its path. Okay? Rolling boulders down the river. People saying it sounds like gunshots firing off all night long. Destroying homes. Destroying lives. Mudslides coming down on people. You go up there right now, there's certain areas that 80-90% of the trees have been knocked over. And what's interesting about this, anyone who has ever studied rain catchment and seen the equation of how much rainwater, how much roof space to fill up certain vessels, you think about that equation. North Carolina has over 200 ridges that are over 5,000 feet in elevation. Mount Mitchell, I think, is like 6,600, 6,800. Some of the tallest ridges. That water came down those mountains with such force that it snatched that already wet earth down into the hollers. And in some of the areas up there, y'all, these mountains, these quartz mountains, were gutters. They were gutter systems. And that gutter ran that water downhill, and we know it finds its level, and with it took earth, took property, took homes, vehicles, and lives right along with it. That storm, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to stop right there. People need to understand that what happened up there is not typical. What happened up there is very unusual and very rare. And I have an almighty Father, loving Father, that promised with a rainbow that he would never flood us out again. But yet here we are. Here we are. And we, the people, have been the ones that stepped up for Western North Carolina. We, the people, and our loving Heavenly Father are the ones who have stepped up for Western North Carolina, and the ones who continue to help Western North Carolina. We are so grateful here for all of the volunteers who came off the jump. We need you back. We need you back, y'all. And we are grateful for all of the donations that have come from all around the world, from clothing, shelter. The Mayday call for heaters, and now we have a Mayday call for air conditioners because it's hot. We could not have preserved as much life that has been preserved without your help. So I want to take this opportunity to explain to you the conditions that were up there, and also explain to you how much we are grateful for continuing to support us, continuing to help. And there's a lot going on There's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of devastation going on all over everywhere. And thank you. Thank you so much. Y'all have a blessed day. Hey, you guys. It's Holly, the Amazon lady again. I'm going to try to do one more video today. I'm not sitting on my porch swing anymore because the sun's setting and right in my eyes. It's a beautiful sunset, but this time of day on this side of the house, it is bright, so I might squint. Anyway, and I'm sitting here in front of my watermelon. Right there. Little watermelon. We decided to try to grow things vertically this year. Thank you, Wayne, for your inspiration. So I wanted to talk real quick about Helene one more time tonight and share with you that my reaction was the fact that we had dodged a bullet. And then the next day, you know, I was talking with my daughter and I just saw that heifer sitting there over those mountains like that, and just knew that much rain and that type of terrain was just gonna be ugly. So that's when I started studying. I consumed as much information as I possibly could about the situation that was going on up there. I stayed up late. I was obsessed. It was all I paid attention to. I watched ham radio. I watched a YouTube channel that posted ham radio signal. That was really interesting. Makes me want to be a ham operator, but anyway, that was very interesting. I learned a lot and just absorbed as much information as possible, which is when I saw a realtor out of Concord named Lee Brown, who has been a fireball for Western North Carolina, and is through her and her group, we started initially donating to them. And on her website was a link for an Amazon registry. And on that, the needs were posted and flying off that registry like you wouldn't believe. Just as soon as I thought I had it together what the needs were, they would change. They needed to change. They needed to be flexible. And things were flying off that registry like you would not believe. She was able to say, you know, go to this link and save time letting people know what was needed by posting it on the Amazon registry. I know how some people feel about Amazon. I can't honestly say that I don't either. But you know what? When it comes to preserving life and it comes to my people in Western North Carolina, I'm going to use Amazon as best I can. I don't, you know, I know all about them, and I'm not an employee there. I'm not an advocate for them. But it has been a resource that has been a valuable resource to the people of Western North Carolina. So, you know, I'm not going to snub my nose too much. I'm sitting here right now, my Cry t-shirt again. CRI 4help.com. Colton, with some of that studying that I did, I found some guys that were having to drive around on ATVs along a railroad track that was left to go around and reach out and go door to door for their community. I found them in some of my research, and then what a blessing to be able to meet Colton and Cody and their friend Peyton when we went up there. They just have a heart for service to their community. They have sacrificed for their community and continue to do so. And it's people like that that has the Appalachian spirit that makes Western North Carolina strong. And it's, excuse me, Wayne just posted a video. But it's people like that that makes me have faith in humanity and willing to sacrifice, not knowing, like literally quitting their jobs. Colton quit his job to run this relief center for his community. You know, he has a family, as a young family. But this is the kind of people that are up there. And it's very important for us to remember that. Their worlds were turned upside down, and the first thing he thought about after he made it home from his shift at the fire department to check on his family. The next thing was the community. And it's people like him, people like you, that are giving Western North Carolina hope. And again, we are grateful from the bottoms of our hearts for everyone who listened to the call, listened to their hearts, and knew that they needed to do something to improve the situation, and did so immensely, and have helped us make a great deal of progress, but still so much to do. So thank you so much. Y'all have a good evening.
Carmen from Appalachian Reclamation Koalition. I'm the Assistant Director and partner to Tammy Krell. We just wanted to reach out and let our followers know that we are going to start doing some videos showcasing some of the work that we've accomplished and some of the projects that we are currently working on. I also wanted to thank everyone that has supported us so far to this point. We greatly appreciate it. Without all of you, we couldn't do the work that we are doing. So those Lowe's cards, Tractor Supply, Ace Hardware, the tools, some of the monetary donations, that has made it all possible. So thank you again for all of that. We greatly appreciate it. And please continue to support us. There's many projects yet to do. And we absolutely love working with these families, and they are so grateful for it. So we just want to continue this work. So thank you very much, and just continue to support us. Stay tuned. I will have more stories and videos in the next video. Okay, so one of the current projects that we are currently working on is the story of Sheena's Restaurant. It is the one and only restaurant in the little town of Barnardsville, and here is their story. Anita sent this to me when we reached out and asked what they needed. So I'm going to read this to you. I have been there my whole life. My mom and dad built their dream, and I worked with them until I lost them both. My dad dairy farmed for 45 years and worked the restaurant when he wasn't farming. I took pride in my work to help make their dream come true. We served our community with pride. We saw families grow and their kids having kids. We enjoyed hosting multiple events with our community. Weddings, birthday parties, anniversary parties, you name it, we loved it. I want to be able to go back to some kind of normal and be able to serve my community again. I miss my customers. I miss their stories. I miss their happy moments, and just to stop by to see how we are doing. We lost everything but the structure, and it sustained a lot of damage. We are down to the studded walls, but we are working on rebuilding as much as we can. I have pictures from the birthday parties at the restaurant before the hurricane, and thank you so much for trying to help put us all back together again. So that came from Anita Edwards. She owns the restaurant with her brother Delane Evans, and Delane has been doing a majority of the work himself. So there is a lot to be done there, and look forward for the pictures. I will send those, and you can see exactly what kind of work is needed. Thank you. some of the work that ARC has been helping Sheena's with is through your donations, we were able to purchase a lot of the electrical wiring that Delane needed to do the rewiring in the restaurant. We are also using those gift cards to purchase the drywall that they will need to fix the walls in the restaurant. And they still need special flooring, cement flooring, to fix that. Their parking lot was severely damaged. There's huge chunks of concrete all over the place, and so they need gravel in there to get that repaired, because unfortunately repaving it is just out of the budget at this point. So we're going to have someone come in and clear that lot and then get the gravel in there so at least they can have a gravel parking lot. She still needs lighting. She needs all of the restaurant equipment. All of it was destroyed. I think tables and chairs she is working on getting secured, but we still need a lot. There is a lot. The back door was completely missing, so we need to get a steel back door that's lockable. Much more than you could even imagine to get that place up and running. And we really want to work hard at that because it's just such a special place. After all of the pictures I saw, you can see why everybody in town loved that restaurant. So we want to really help give them that back. Thank you. Projects that took quite a bit of collaboration was a family of 5 that had their home flooded during Helene. Mold quickly set in after that, and they could no longer live in the home, and then a rat infestation really prevented them from living in that home. So we joined together with another partner, Jeremy Barker and Sam Byler, provided her with the 2 tiny homes, but then we joined together with Tim from Mountain Wisdom to build a hallway or a breezeway to connect those 2 tiny homes so that family could spread out a little bit. So your donations provided all of the materials to build that breezeway, and it also provided the plumbing so that they could get that tiny home supplied with water, because they didn't have water to it currently. So these are the kinds of things that your donations are helping us accomplish. So please continue to support ARC and all of its partners, because that is how we are getting things done, is by working together to get these families what they need. Thank you so much. Other things that I wanted to share with you today is why a coalition works so well. ARC is a coalition of churches, organizations, individuals, nonprofits, and we all collaborate together to rebuild Appalachia. And when we had a need for a carpenter, one resident in town stepped up immediately. His name is Josh. He's the owner of the Nitty Gritty Guy, and that is a car detailing shop in Weaverville on Old Mars Hill Highway. Not only did Josh step up and help us rebuild the garage doors for a family that was destroyed in Helene, but then he went on to build a ramp for a family that had a disabled daughter. So community engagement and collaboration is another huge reason why ARC does as well as it does. Together, we are stronger. example of collaboration is we had a family in Black Mountain that their home was scheduled to be demolished, but they didn't want to let their roof get demolished with that because it was practically brand new. So they reached out to us and asked if we wanted the roof. We did, so we had a team go up there and take that roof off, put it in some storage, and then we also had a resident of Barnardsville that has been helping residences all over, and he has big equipment. His name is Tim Burleson, and his mother's home got damaged. So we then told Tim that he could have that roofing to fix his mother's home. Since he was helping the community so much, we wanted to be able to give back to him and help his family out. So that tin roofing went to his mother. And that's what I'm talking about when we say community collaboration, is helping each other. So please continue to do so. Please continue to support all of us. We are trying to work together and get this all done by helping each other.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Bud from Appalachian Navy. I just wanted to thank everybody for the support so far on the Amazon gift registry. Things have been selling a lot quicker than I thought they would. There's been, I think, 15 to 20 air conditioners bought, a bunch of fans. Last time I looked, 3 generators have been purchased, and some of the food's been purchased, and some gift cards. So that's wonderful, and I'm hoping, well, whenever they get here, I'm tentatively planning a trip this Saturday to take stuff up. So it all depends on when the stuff gets here. So the needs of the relief centers are pretty much a lot like what's on the registry. You know, the fans and the air conditioners, the canned meat. Gift cards are always good, and you know, the canned meats and stuff are going off the shelves pretty quick. Every relief center I go to, it's like as soon as they put some out, it's gone, and they're even limiting quantities, so just to make it go around more. But it's hard to keep that stuff on the shelf because it's just sought after so good. But yeah, paper products. We're good on the propane. You know, propane's still going to be needed for a long time, but I'm on top of that. So I wanted to thank everybody again. See you.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. This is Tammy Krell. I am the executive director and co-founder of ARC, the Appalachian Reclamation Koalition. And I don't typically do videos, so I'll do what I can. But I want to say thank you to every one of you for all of your donations that have come in to help us rebuild Barnardsville and other homes in Western North Carolina. You have no idea that what your support has done. We would be completely forgotten up here if it wasn't for people like you. And so we're blessed to be a part of Deep River Farms and the Operation Mountain Relief and everything that they have done to support ARC as well. I thought I would do a fun little video because Wayne shows his rooster, and I thought I would introduce you to ours. This is Elvis. Right there, there's our little rooster, Elvis. And he's got quite an attitude. And this is our barn. This is our mural here. And then we have some baby pygmy goats over there. And so yes, I know that Wayne shares all of his fun stuff. I do not have a beautiful garden like he does, growing vegetables and such. I do want to say we are still needing building supplies and donations. Lowe's gift cards. Oh my gosh, we have gotten a whole bunch from Ross at Central Global, and they have been amazing because Carmen and I work basically remotely. We are able to order the supplies at the Weaverville Lowe's and have them delivered to the homeowners so that when the volunteers are there, they can just get to work. And that took us a little bit to iron out how that was all going to work. But we have it dialed in now. And so that has been really fantastic. All of the supplies and tools you have been sending, oh my gosh, it's been amazing. As you know, the mountains have kind of been forgotten. And so if it wasn't for people like you, they would really be forgotten. Okay, thank you so much. You can go to our website at www.arcolition.com, ARKOALITION. Thank you. everybody, this is Tammy with the Appalachian Reclamation Koalition. I am on my hobby farm, and I am just wanting to thank everybody for all of your donations, all your tools coming in. We absolutely cannot thank you enough, and being a part of Deep River Farms and the whole Operation Mountain Relief has just been amazing for us. We are so blessed. And we thank you guys so much, because if it wasn't for people like you, we absolutely would be completely lost up here. We are reclaiming Western North Carolina right now, one town at a time up in Barnardsville, and we are starting to move forward, helping with their restaurant and helping some other folks that needed stuff. We all got together as a team and did a house roof in Hendersonville for Kris Swiatocho Ministries, and everybody just came together. It was so wonderful. She was so blessed. That being said, Lowe's cards would be fantastic, because we are able to have deliveries of supplies made to the houses that we are reclaiming. Carmen and I pretty much work remotely. We are not boots on the ground, and so the Lowe's cards we have received from Central Global, from Ross, has been a blessing, because we now finally have that all dialed in. It took us a little bit on how we were going to get this all done, and this, that, and the other. I wanted to show you, I know, a little rooster competition. I was going to show you my Elvis, who is out here somewhere. I don't know, so I was going to compete with Wayne's rooster, but I don't see him right now. Anyway, we want to thank you all so much. Again, we are still taking in, we have our registry, and we're still taking in building supplies and gift cards, and every penny helps us. Thank you so much. Hi everyone, Tammy again from ARC, wanting to thank everybody and let you know that we are all so appreciative. I'm out here on my little hobby farm. I wanted to show you my Norman. You know what's really needed are fans and AC units and everything. I mean, this is my Swiss Fillets ram. His name is Norman, and he's very, very hot. So could you imagine being in a shed or a tiny home or a camper in this heat? So here's my Norman. There he is. See how hot he is? Norman, what's going on, bud? I know. Now, he does have fans in the barn, but apparently he'd rather be out here sweating to death or whatever he's doing. Have a great day. Thank you guys for everything. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I thought that was my Elvis. I don't know where my Elvis is. Okay, but I've got my little chicks and my little goats. I'll give you a quick peek. Okay, here's a quick peek. These are my little pygmies out here. They got a lot to say. We got a whole bunch of baby chicks. They're probably hard to see. They're out. They free range. We've got a whole bunch of baby chicks out there. We've got some more chicks up here. Yeah, we've got the baby pygmies. And then of course we have Norman. Here's Norman, who is gonna just, instead of going in the barn where there's fans, and that's why getting fans and getting these people cooled down is so important. Everybody is so hot. Thank you guys again. Thanks for looking at my farm. Okay, you guys, I have to show you this mama with these babies. These are 10 babies. These are not her chicks. We have a chicken that steals everybody's eggs. You see every one of these babies listed. She stole 10 eggs and laid on them and laid 10 chicks, and then she handed them off over here to her. and she took them on just like they were hers. She is now back in the coop, sitting on 15 eggs, all of which are not hers. She is actually white. You will see we have a couple of white ones in here. Those are probably only 2 that belong to her. So she's an egg stealer, and she's just broody. So we just let her brood, and this is what we got. But the fact that this hen took on these chicks just cracks us up. Thank you. All right, and you know I have to show you my Polish. Look at their hair. Are they the cutest? I just got these. Well, they were babies. So we've had them for a little bit, but I have always wanted these, and they are absolutely hysterical. Like, their hair is just too much. I love them. I'm glad I can share with you guys.
Hi everybody, it's Kris with Kris Swiatocho Ministries. Just want to give you another quick update with hurricane relief. I'm headed over later this evening to pick up a whole carload of food and supplies that we get from a hub in Swannanoa led by Jenica Grooms with Dark City Customs. She was with the hurricane relief all these months. We've all been working together, and she has been getting food and other supplies from a great organization called Michelle Moore Shows in Tennessee. And so they also have been bringing air conditioners to be able to help people that are in these sheds and to get relief because it's quite hot now this summer. So I'm gonna go pick up a bunch of food and supplies. Very thankful for that, but also I appreciate those that continue to help us on our wish list. We still need lots of things, and the needs are coming in. People are calling, contacting, things are running out. And so we're trying to also, because there's very few hubs left now, they're almost all gone. So the needs now are starting to pick up for the few hubs that are still around. So thank you for donating, especially gift cards, because then we can give those to the families to be able to do what they can do. We also have a new need that's just come up where we're trying to pay the lot rent for a gentleman for a couple months he was asked to leave where he was at with his camper because I guess they were selling the land or something. And so we are working with some other organizations to try to figure out a way to pay rent for him for a couple months so he can get back on his feet. So thank you again for all your prayers. We're going to keep doing this till God tells us to stop.